Hi everyone, I'm Leiden from Leiden Makes, and today I'm going to show you how to make a knotted head pin that you can use for your jewelry. I use these all the time, usually because I don't feel like using a regular head pin, or I'm just only using wire, or I like the way this looks better, lots of different reasons. I first learned this technique from watching a Sarah Lovecraft video, and I'll put a link to her channel down below. Really recommend her. She's a great designer and a great teacher, so go check out her vids if you haven't seen her before. So we're going to need some different pliers for this. We're also going to need, of course, wire. I actually do this most often with 20 gauge wire. I use a lot of 20 gauge wire. Today we're going to use a little 22, and it is easier to learn how to do this with 22 gauge or thinner wire. So you're going to need a wire cutter. You're going to need a pair of flat nose pliers. I'm going to use two because I want to make earrings, but you can do the knotted head pin with just one. So I'm going to use one that's like a regular needle nose and then one that's a bent nose here. You will need a nylon jaw plier to protect your wire from getting bumpy and to help smooth it out. And then last but not least, we're going to use a needle nose plier. So let me set these again over here. And we'll start out by using the wire cutter. So get a decent length like this. And I usually cut more than I need because I just hate running out. I don't like having a length of wire that's too short. So get another piece like that. Okay. And then we're going to take the nylon jaw and we're just going to do kind of an initial smooth out of this wire right here. Just a little bit. Okay. And then next we're going to grab the needle nose plier and we're going to start making our knot. So what you want to do is grab the tip of your wire with the tip of your round nose plier. And you're going to start kind of moving this wire around the tip. And you don't want to curl it on top of itself, but you want to kind of curl it around itself. So it's making like a coil on the tip of your pliers, like this. And you're going to keep doing that until you are about at the point where you started. So you've made like a little loop there. And then I will take this wire, kind of put my finger here to help me do it, and then bend it back. So it's going out away from the direction that your pliers are on. Take it off the plier. And then what you're going to do is kind of maneuver the loop that you bent back through this sort of like little hole that you made by curling around the tip of your pliers like this. Okay, and this is actually usually the hardest part for me for some reason. I find this bit kind of difficult and everything else not too bad at this point. Alright, so just maneuver it back through there a little bit. And then we will take the nylon jaw plier, and you can take any pair of flat pliers that you have and grab the end and pull it through. And just keep pulling until that knot is kind of snug. You can also, if you ended up with kind of a pokey bit at the end and you know you're a little worried about that, you can just kind of bend it in like that. And now we have this nice little knot on the end of their wire. So let's go ahead and do it one more time. So we'll start with our round nose, and you will grab the tip of your wire with the tip of your pliers and start moving the wire around the tip of your plier. Not so it's on top of itself, but kind of around itself. And just go back around until you've gotten to about the point where you started. Put your little finger here and move the wire back so it's facing away. And then we're going to go ahead and bend this wire back through the little hole that we created by wrapping around the tip of the pliers, like so. And I will just struggle bust with it for a moment. Something about this bit is just difficult for me. Might have to reposition. Okay, there we go. So I've gotten it through. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my nylon jaw, and I will take a pair of flat nose pliers and just pull that through until it is pretty snug, like that. And there's our little knot. So now that you've made your head pins, what I will often do is I'll take the nylon jaw pliers and just go back again, because as you can see, the process of making the knot will make your wire just kind of bumpy, and that can be difficult to get your beads on that. So just smooth it out a little bit with your nylon jaw, and you can do a few passes. So I think I mentioned this is just 22 gauge craft wire. You can also use German style wire. You can use 20 gauge. You can use thicker. You can use thinner wire. Anything thicker than 20 gauge is probably going to be a little difficult to do it with, but you know, you can give it a try, see what you think. And now we have these nice two knotted little head pins. So I pulled out some beads here just to kind of do a little demo of how you can do earrings with these. So I believe these were from Bargain Bee Box last summer. This is some matte Amazonite. And I think I'm actually just going to do a pumpkin little melon bead right there. And these are some 80 Toho C beads and a cube and another seed bead. I think that's actually pretty cute as is, because I feel like if I put the Amazonite, it's gonna get too long. I don't know, I tend to be a small earring person. You can let me know what you think if you're watching this, if you think it would have been better longer. So next I'm going to go ahead and grab a pair of flat nose pliers like this, and I will just bend by putting on the tip there, and we'll grab our round nose, grab it around like that, curl it back on itself. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a pair of flat nose again. I usually do wrap loops. In fact, I almost always do wrap loops. It's pretty rare that I don't do that, but you know, personal preference really. Then I will close that. I'm going to grab my other pair of flat nose. This is why I like to have two, and especially the bent nose is so useful for these like little tight areas like this. Then I'm going to grab my wire and just kind of wrap it around the top like that. Okay. And cut this off. And I usually like to have a little place to put my wire bits just for good wire safety reasons. I keep like a little tray on my desk where I can put the discards. I'm going to flatten down my wire a little bit. And now we have made an earring with a knotted head pin. So yeah, like I said, I don't often buy head pins. Oftentimes I'll just be working from one spool of wire and I want to make a little pair of earrings, or I want to make a little bracelet dangle, and I will just use a knotted head pin instead. It's just as durable as a regular head pin, and in fact I think they look kind of cool. So I hope that you'll give the technique a try. Let me know if you think this earring would have looked better with the Amazonite. It's pretty cute and tiny, but you know, I could be wrong. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video was helpful and that you'll stop by again. Have a great day. Thank you.